If I had a magic wand and I could magically eliminate one relationship problem of yours, what would it be? I'm going to give you a second to think about it while I sip my water. My guess is that most of you would say reduce or eliminate the number of fights we have in a relationship. Because, I mean, who likes fighting and crying and yelling and dealing with all of that with the person you love the most in the world? I remember going through that phase in my relationship where every 2 or 3 days we would fight about some random topic for absolutely no reason. And every fight, I would be so scared at the back of my mind, thinking, what if this is that one fight that ends everything? Because it kept happening one after the other, and I was always scared, what if this one's it? So I remember going through that terrifying phase in my life. And if you're in that phase where you're constantly fighting with each other, I'm here to help you through that. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rootvi and I love love. And I create content to help you love yourself, master your emotions, and in turn, build beautiful, happy, and healthy relationships. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click that button and follow me along on Instagram if you want insights into my personal life. All right, let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to cover 3 topics. First, why do we fight and why it's important for you to learn how to better manage your fights. Number 2, we're going to learn strategies to apply on daily basis to prevent fights. And then number 3, let's say a fight has happened, we're going to work through conflict resolution strategies to help you in the moment of a fight. Okay, before you get irritated and fast forward, I'm going to jump right in. So topic number 1, why do we fight? So if someone tells you, hey, XYZ couple never fights or it's unreasonable to fight, I don't really think that's true. Everybody fights. And this happens because you're two completely separate individuals, separate beings. I can give you a list. You have separate backgrounds, separate priorities, separate upbringing, separate needs, separate fears, separate insecurities. Everything about you is different because you've spent the majority of your life growing up in 2 separate families with 2 separate environments. So you are completely separate individuals who have now come together in a relationship. However, you're still 2 separate individuals with a particular way of thinking and behaving. So, of course, there's going to be friction when 2 separate people with different thinking come together and have to deal with one situation, but there's 2 different perspectives to look at it. So, the friction is normal, but that doesn't mean we don't solve it or deal with it or address it. Now, while it's impossible to completely eradicate fights, what we can do is learn to master fighting so that we can at least reduce the conflicts and become better partners. And yes, I said master fighting. I want you to become experts at fighting because that will make your life so much easier. There are 3 rules in my relationship about fighting that I always promise my partner. I said, while I can't promise you that we will never fight, I will promise you that I will always try to reduce the number of times we fight, reduce the duration of which the fight lasts, and number 3, we will never fight about the same topic again and again. And this is the relationship standard that I want you to also set for your relationship. And that's what this video is going to help you with. And it is really important to learn this art of managing your fights because if you don't, how will you grow? It's so tiring to keep fighting over and over again about the same thing. I always tell people this story. Have you seen that rat when they show a rat in a scientific experiment and it's running on a wheel and it's running as fast as it can and the rat is like continuously running? But it's not moving forward. It's in the same spot. So it's similarly couples who keep fighting, I don't think they're growing. You could have spent 5 years together, but if you're still fighting about the same topics that you did in year 1, you're that rat. Yeah, you're running forward, but you're still in the same spot because you haven't grown. And fights are really tiring and taxing, and they take a huge toll on you. How are you going to focus on your dreams, pursue your passions when you're busy fighting? Think of a time when you had a fight. Do you think you're going to go build your passion project or work on your dream, shoot content, present really well at a meeting, or go work on your fitness goals, or go meditate? You're just annoyed and sad, and you want to just scroll or shut down or do something. None of your brain capacity is going to be at its optimal after you've had a fight. My mother-in-law always said, You both have to be partners. There's so much to fight in the world, so much stresses of work, friends, people to deal with in the outside world. Your relationship should be your happy, safe space, and it should energize you. And that's why I want you to learn the art of managing how to fight so that you don't drain yourself and you both grow together and chase your dreams. Hopefully, now that I've convinced you that it's really important to stop fighting and to better manage it, let's go to section 2, which covers how to become more mindful on a daily basis to prevent fights. I truly believe that prevention is better than cure, right? And that's true with relationships as well. Because it's not one fight that ends your relationship. It's always these mini fights that add up, that eventually get too much, that leads to a breakup. So I'm going to give you 5 tools that will make you a better communicator on a daily basis that prevents fights. Number 1, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know how people say words hold the power to hurt someone immensely? Agree. But tone has the power to hurt someone even if you don't mean it. So many times we don't mean to hurt our partner, but the way we say something breaks them down. So be hyper aware of your tone and how you're speaking to your partner. If there's annoyance or a sense of complaint or passive aggressive comments or taunts that you're sliding through in your daily conversations, that adds up. So be hyper aware of your tone when you talk to your partner on a daily basis. Number 1, most important. Number 2, use I and me and not you. Remember growing up, everyone said, don't make everything about I and me. It's selfish. Change that during fights. Everything should be I and me when it comes to conflict. I'll explain. Let's say you're annoyed at your partner that they don't text you when they're going out with their friends or whatever, right? And you want to talk to them about this. Instead of yelling at them or complaining or telling them you never text me, I want you to say, when you go out, can you please text me more often? Because I've had a rough past and there are certain fears that I have or certain things that make me uncomfortable, which is why when you text me, I feel so much more safe. So, can you text me? There's nothing wrong that you're doing. You're absolutely fine. It's just something that I need and it would really help me. So, can you do that for me? Bam. Right there, you made this request about yourself, how you need it, not that they're a bad person or a bad partner or a bad communicator. This immediately makes your relationship more amicable. They're more willing to listen. They might see where you're coming from, and it might make it less of a fight and maybe something they consider. Make it about you. I need this help. This is what I need in this relationship because I've had a rough past. Can you please help me? Change that. Number 3, never use absolute words. Forever, always, permanently, never, everything. These are all absolute words. Never use them in a conflict. When you say, you're always late, you never care about me, you ruin everything, the minute you use absolute words, you are framing this as their personality. This is who they are. They're just always bad. They just never love you. They never care. They're always late. This is who they become. Then there's no chance of them changing. And automatically they go into defense mode because you're saying something about their character. It's no more about a situation that, hey, we might be late for dinner tonight. It's who they are. And this immediately makes them not want to change because you've now just frame them as a bad person. Don't do that. Never use absolute words. Number 4, don't suppress feelings. On a daily basis, don't try to hold your feelings in. This could be sadness, this could be anger, whatever you're feeling towards your partner, let it out. Because if you don't, there's only so much capacity your brain and heart has to hold all these feelings. When you latch onto your feelings, it all adds up and it bubbles inside and usually comes out as taunts or passive aggressive comments or building a distance from your partner. You don't want to do that because that will eventually lead into a major fight. So don't suppress your feelings. Find a good time when you're both in a good headspace. I'm not saying go fight every day, but when you find a good headspace, communicate about your feelings in a non blaming, happy, healthy way. But if you keep holding it in, it will come out, and a small feeling might become a huge mountain because it's been added on for many days. So don't hold it in. Let it out when the time is right. Number 5, request, not demand. On a daily basis, when you want your partner to change or if you want them to do something, request, not demand. So many times we say, if you don't do this, I'm just going to leave you. If you don't do this, I'm just tired and sick of you. I'm just done with you. When you say these things, it seems more of a threat and a demand, saying, if you don't do this, I'll do that, or I'll get mad. I'll give you an example. If, let's say, your partner is always late and you're the type who always wants to reach on time, requesting, maybe can we try to reach like 10 minutes early? I hate how we look so bad in front of our friends. We're always late. I really, really want to try to get there on time. That's it. Just try that. And yeah, you might say, I've tried that 100 times. Try 102nd time. Do it. But that is the tone and that is the way. It always has to be a request, not a demand. It's not healthy to make demands in a relationship in an aggressive way. We should always request and then hope that they deliver. That's it. So those were the 5 tools to prevent fights on a daily basis. I hope you wrote them down. There's no point of listening unless you apply. So write them down and apply it, and you'll slowly notice the pent up tension and aggression you have in your relationship slowly fizzling away, and there's fewer conflicts because you're more aware about your relationship and your communication on a daily basis. So now let's go to section 3. So, on to the last part of the video is what to do when a fight has happened. You can be a good communicator, a good partner, love each other, and yet sometimes a fight will still happen. So, here are 5 things I want you to do in that moment. These 5 are really easy to understand, but very hard to implement because we have 3 amazing problems: ego, pride, and sensitive emotions. That usually makes it harder, but we're going to fight them and we're going to be good partners. Number 1, take time off. The minute you sense that the fight is getting out of control and after this it's going to be really bad, a siren or an alarm should go off in your head and one of you should stop. My partner will literally tell me, stop ho ja, iske baad acha nahi hoga, mujhe pata chal raha hai. Just stop now, it'll be bad after this. And that is my signal to stop. No matter how much I want to argue, fight, yell, scream, cry, I stop. One of you has to take the initiative to determine it's now getting out of control and we should stop. After that, determine how much time you guys need to cool off. This could be half an hour, it could be 6 hours, it could be sleeping off and discussing the next day, and that's okay. Determine the time you need to cool off where you're ready to rediscuss it in a stable manner. Because when you're angry, nothing is happening. You're both just yelling and it's a waste of time. Determine how long it takes for you guys to cool down and then discuss it. Please take the time off. Don't try to solve it in that moment of anger. Number 2, take turns to talk. Let's say you're in a fight. Most of the times we're just yelling. You're both yelling and you're shouting on top of your lungs and nobody's really listening. Everyone's just trying to prove their point and there's just yelling happening and nothing's going inside. That's just wastage of time, energy, and emotions, and the fight is not getting resolved. What I want you to do is announce and say, I'm going to talk and then you talk, or you talk and then I'm going to talk. We literally announce this. Like if we're having a conflict, I'll literally be like, okay, I'll stop. You speak, and then it'll be my turn to speak. Even in an intense moment, I do that. Because what I've realized is the minute you gave someone time and space to talk and you stop talking and yelling, most of the times they don't have much to say. And if they were about to say something harsh or mean, when there's silence and you're calmly listening, they don't say it, and the fight automatically gets better. So give each other the time and space to talk, and you'll realize the fight will be so much shorter and less mean and less loud and less toxic. It'll just become a discussion. Take turns, don't talk over each other. Literally take turns to speak one after the other. Number 3, don't demean your partner's feelings. If your partner is sad or crying about something, don't say stop overreacting or there's nothing to cry about. You don't get to decide what they feel upset or sad about. Remember, you're 2 separate individuals. Something that makes you really sad won't affect them at all. So if they're crying about something and you don't think they're supposed to be crying about that, that's not a choice you get to make. They get to decide what they're upset about. So don't demean someone's feelings, even if you don't understand them, by telling them you're overreacting or you're doing acting or like there's nothing to cry about, deal with it, right? So don't demean your partner's feelings, because then the fight doesn't become about the topic you're fighting about. It becomes about how you hurt your partner and how you don't care about them. So even in the most intense moment of a fight, don't attack your partner's feelings. Number 4 is what I call the shoes theory. Literally, in the moment of a fight, physically imagine yourself in their shoes. You know their insecurities, their childhood traumas, where their fear is coming from, where their doubt is coming from. You know all of it. You already have the answer. Put yourself in their shoes and say, okay, I get it. She's being like this because I once lied to her, or her ex treated her that way. Maybe that's why she's reacting like this. Close your eyes, literally take a moment and be like, I'm in her shoes. Why is she doing this? It's so hard to do in the moment, but once you start practicing it, it'll become really easy. You'll be able to see and think like them even in a fight. I literally will be in a fight and I'll be like, oh, I know why he did that and he's not wrong. Fine. I'll argue for 2 minutes and then I'll get over it because I've already explained it to myself. See the child version of them. Put yourself in their shoes and see and realize why they're crying, why are they upset, what are they asking for. It'll all make sense. Shoe theory. Shoes, shoes, shoes. Put yourself in their shoes. And number five, and the last one, say sorry. Always say sorry, even if you don't agree. And I'm not saying don't say sorry and don't mean it. So many times I'll be in the middle of a fight and I'll say, okay, I'm sorry, not because I did something wrong, but sorry that we're having a fight. Sorry that we're going through this. I will literally start crying and say, I'm feeling really bad that we're fighting. I don't want to fight. And immediately the fight becomes so much softer. Someone's just taken a back foot rather than being in a war and a state of anger. You've said sorry because you don't like that the fight is happening. Now, the other person isn't going to yell on top of someone who's saying sorry. This doesn't mean you're losing anything by saying sorry. And so many times the fight automatically gets better when one person calms down. So say sorry. Don't let your ego win. I don't know why we think we get a medal and someone's keeping a score of like, I won this fight, they won this fight, and now we have a tally and I win. There's no point. Say sorry. Say sorry every time. This is the person you love the most in the world. There are no ego games. And I know this is so hard to do, but when you truly open up and let your heart be vulnerable, you'll realize you can say sorry 100 times and it doesn't matter. You'll both be happy soon and quickly, and everything will be better. And that's what matters. Say sorry. All right, I've spilled so many of my secrets. I feel like I've told you guys everything I teach in coaching and given away all my secrets. But that's the point. I started doing this because I wanted to help, and I really hope this will help. I love love, and like relationships are literally the best thing in the world. So do this. Watch this video together, make it a date night activity, send it to your partner, send this to them right now, and just ask them to watch it in their free time. And both of you should do all of this. I love you. I'll be back soon. God bless you and build happy, beautiful relationships together. Mwah.